Recording in progress.
Good morning. So, welcome again. Today we're going to do a class focused on releasing any kind of tension on the lower part of the back or sciatica and the petition. So, don't worry if you don't have any kind of problems, but whenever we feel that we had any pains or we've overdone it for whichever reason, because it's very easy not to think about the way that we're moving when we're getting distracted, and then pull a muscle or do something that is gonna, the discomfort is gonna carry on for a few days. So what we need to do is engage in some part of the body, but we'll see that throughout the practice. For now, we're gonna just cross in a comfortable position, place the hands on your knees, and then just find the easiness on the upper body as we gently move. As we start stretching, we lengthen the breath. So one breath for each movement, for each stretch. Good, and then we come towards the center. Roll the shoulders back and down, align the spine, relax the shoulders and close your eyes. Breathe in deeply, lengthening the spine, the neck, even more. Feeling taller and making sure that there's no tension on the face muscles. Allow the tongue to relax, so there's no tension on the jaw. And start lengthening that breath. As we deepen the breath, perhaps we can feel if there is any discomfort in the body, especially on the upper body. If you feel anything, then just bring some attention to that area. Where attention goes, energy flows. And if energy is flowing, then there's no tension, there's no pain. Awakening your own healer, your own way of using your magic so you can feel better each moment, each day. With the next inhalation, bring the palms together at the level of the heart and pressing gently. Bring the stomach in, the gaze up. And we start with the gratitude practice. And always try to choose something that is happening to you, that is affecting you in any way. And try to twist that appreciation. Like even when we have an injury and even when we don't feel that well, there's always something there that we can improve, that we can learn from. So perhaps we can be grateful for that ability to get up and to be there no matter what. The ability of your body to heal, to recover. Good, and then set your intentions for this practice and your intentions for the day. And inhaling, raise the palms up, chin up, head back, arching the spine, and very slowly allowing the arms to come through the sides. Align the spine, bring the chin towards the chest, and deepen your breath in and out, relaxing the shoulders. And again, and with a few blinks, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining. So that thing that we say about where attention goes, energy flows is really important. So instead of, when we feel any discomfort, instead of shortening the breath, which is a normal thing, a normal reaction to do, then you focus on that area and you breathe as slowly as you can. And that would allow the tissues and the muscles to relax. So let's start stretching the legs. Oops. Loosen up, shaking side to side, moving your toes. Breathing slowly. Good, and we're gonna lay down on the mat, finding that extra space in between the vertebrae as we bring the stomach in, the spine is straight. Finding also that extra space in between the shoulder blades. Good, and then we're gonna bend the elbows and keep shoulders and elbows aligned, and then the hands pointing up. Good, yes, flexed in 90 degrees. Keep the stomach in, the chin towards the chest, the toes pressing down on the mat, and just focus on maintaining the spine straight. Breathing slowly. So there don't need to be any tension on the abdomen. Well, there's some tension because there's some activation, but there is some easiness on the posture by bringing the stomach in and slightly upwards. Breathe slowly there. Good, and then if your eyes are open, if your eyes are closed, gently open them, and then lift the feet off the floor, bring the knees towards the chest, and open the knees as wide as you can, coming into Happy Baby. So for Happy Baby, you can hold on the shins, by the ankles, or on your feet. Wherever it is, the ankles need to be flexed, so the sole of the feet are pointing towards the ceiling. And the knees coming towards the side as much as possible. Making sure there's no tension on the neck. And then rock side to side. Breathing slowly. The jaw relaxed. The chin towards the chest. The elbows is slightly bent, so when we relax with the breathing, then that flexibility would have space. Good, and then come back towards the center. We're gonna keep holding the right leg and then stretch the left one with the toes pointing. So the left hip, it might lift from the floor, and that's okay. Just keep the left hand on the hip and try to bring the right knee towards the mat as much as possible, towards the side. But keep the sole of the foot pointing up of the right leg and the left leg, the toes pointing. Keep breathing there. The slower you breathe, the better the stretch. And if you find that breathing is compromised because the stretch is too intense, then come back slightly and keep breathing. Good, and then release the right leg. Bring the toes pointing and hold the left one. And again, holding whatever you can, the toes of the straightened leg pointing up, and the bent leg has the sole of the foot pointing towards the ceiling. The right hand resting on the hip and keeping the shoulders nicely in contact with the ground, even if the hip is raising off the floor. Making sure there's no tension on the neck, the face muscles. And also when we feel an intense stretch and we're stretching without moving the head, you can close your eyes, bring the gaze up, and that would help you to connect even deeper and to relax even more. Good. And then release this leg, also straighten both legs up, shoulders back and down. Bring the arms on T-shape with the palms down. Open the legs about hip width apart and then rotate the ankles in opposite directions. Try to keep the knees as straight as possible and make the rotations slow and wide. Good, and then we swap to the other direction, keeping the core active. Good, one more rotation. And then bend the knees, give them a hug to the legs and rock side to side. And the idea is that we tighten the thighs towards the chest as much as possible so we feel that stretch on the back of the legs. Allowing the knees to be slightly wider. Good, and then come back towards the center, bring the chin towards the chest and bring the feet down on the floor. Good, so as we were saying at the beginning, to protect one part of the body, we need to activate another one. So to protect the lower back, or when we have any kind of sciatica pain, lower back pain, we need to activate the core or the thighs. So grounding is very important when we are supporting the weight with the legs, or when we have for example, in the bridge breathing, the hips off the floor to control that gravity, then we're going to activate the core and the glutes to come very slowly all the way down. And by strengthening the muscles of the body that they're around the area that is a little bit more sensitive, then we are protecting. So shoulders back and down, bring the chin towards the chest, bring the hands with the palms down, nice and active, fingers well spread. And when you're ready, inhaling, coming up with the hips, squeezing the knees, keeping them to hip width apart. But imagine that you have a bowl or a block in between your knees. Bring the chin towards the chest as much as possible. And notice its strength on the shoulders, on the glutes, on the thighs. Breathe slowly there. Holding the position, the toes are active. And with the next exhalation, very slowly start bringing vertebra by vertebra all the way down towards the mat. And when the lower back touches the mat, bring the knees towards the chest and keeping the hands where they are, very slightly rocking side to side. Bringing the knees a little bit more away from you. One more round of breath. Good, and then come back towards the center, bring the knees towards the chest and straighten the legs. Hold the legs whatever you can, but again with the elbows bent, the knees straighten, and try to bring the legs as close towards you as possible. So the most important thing is that the legs are straightened with the toes pointing. If your maximum is about 90 degrees, then that's absolutely fine. Keep the core active, and when you can, try to bring the legs a little bit closer. If you can reach from the calves more or less to bring those legs a little bit closer towards you, then do so, but make sure that there's no tension on the neck. Very active toes pointing out to stretch the back of the legs. Good, and then release the hands, bring them all the way down, bend the knees and roll on your right side, holding, supporting your neck with the bottom arm. Good, and then bend the knees, align with the hips, lean slightly forward, supporting the weight with that top hand, and then inhaling, stretch the leg out. Hip height, toes pointing. We're going to inhale and bring the leg all the way up. Once it's up, then inhaling, flex. Exhaling, extend. The ankle movement, inhaling. Just ankle movement, keeping the leg up. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Try to keep the knee as straight as possible and pointing up all the time, 90 degrees. Keeping the leg up at all times. Keep inhaling, flexing. Exhaling, point. That's it. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. And keep the toes pointing, lowering the leg all the way down, and then bring it towards the back. With the big toe touching the floor and holding the position, keeping the knees straight and stretching that front part of the hip, the groin. You can even lean slightly more forward to keep the balance and to find a deeper stretch. But the knees is straightened, the knee of the back leg is straightened. No matter how back we bring the leg, but have the leg straightened. There, good. And the toes, the big toe touching the floor. There, very good. And then inhaling, bend the knee and bring the leg all the way up as high as we can. And once you get to your highest point, then you're going to flatten the foot down, the toes, the whole sole of the foot in contact with the ground, finding that stretch on the back of the leg. Breathe slowly. You can close your eyes, bring the gaze up. Good, and then inhaling, bring the tip of your toes and then the leg all the way back, holding the position there with the leg hip height, toes pointing. 2 more rounds of breath there. The glutes are active, the core is slightly engaged. And then we bend the knee, use the arms, and let's do the other side. Rest the head, bend the knees, lean slightly forward, finding that bottom hip nice and comfortable. If we need to lean forward a little bit more, then we do so, keeping the shoulder engaged, and then stretch that top leg, toes pointing. Stomach in, the glutes are active. Breathing deeply. Good, and then inhaling, bring the leg all the way up. So we bring the leg up, perhaps we need to lean forward a little bit more to keep that balance, and that's absolutely fine. Then inhaling, flex the ankle, exhaling, point. And 6 more times. Inhaling, exhaling. Making sure that the jaw is relaxed, the face muscles relaxed. Exhale. Inhaling, flex. Exhaling, extend. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. And last 2. Inhale. Exhale. Core engaged. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And lower down with the toes pointing, leg straighten, and then bring the leg towards the back. Leaning slightly forward. Feeling the stretch and the activation of the glutes. Leaning slightly forward so we can feel also the stretch on the back of the hip, on the lumbar area, on the side of the body. Good, and then inhaling, raising the leg to hip height, bringing it all the way towards the front as high as we can, and then tip of your big toe touching the floor, and then flatten the whole foot down and breathe slowly. Now finding that stretch more towards the back of the leg. Two more rounds of breath here. Good, and then release the leg, bring it all the way to point straight down with the foot off the floor, toes pointing. Two more rounds of breath there. Good, and then bend the knee and use your arms to come up to a sitting position. Stretch the legs, bounce and shake. Good, and then from there, from the sitting position, we come into Dandasana. Shoulders back and down, hands next to the body. Toes pointing towards you as much as you can. Bring the stomach in, and then inhaling, bring the arms all the way up. Then relax the shoulders, look straight, the spine is straight. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the right hand on the outside of the left knee, and then bring the other hand towards the back with the fingertips only, and twist with the shoulders, but keep the legs very active. The knees straighten, and breathing deeply. Remember, the twist should happen from the hip, from the shoulders, and the neck just follows. With the next inhalation, bring the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders, and exhaling, twist towards the other side. Looking down, chin towards the chest. Feel the twist around the ribs. Keep the legs very active. Breathing deeply. Good, and then inhaling, unwind the arms, bring them all the way up. And this time arching the spine, bringing the chest forward, coming onto a forward fold. So if there is tension on the back of the legs, perhaps there's not much movement, just try not to round the spine. Try to keep the spine as straight as you can, no matter how far you get to. And then bend the elbows and keep looking up. And start using your arms actively to pull you forward on that forward fold. Full forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So the movement comes from the hips. Keep the spine straight and breathing from the shoulders back. Elbows bent, even if we're holding closer towards the hips, but keep the elbows bent so you can pull yourself forward. And when your breathing is smooth, then there will be a little bit more of flexibility. Even if you straighten the arms and straighten the legs, as long as you feel the stretch on the back of the legs, then that would be very helpful for sciatica. Also for tight hamstrings. 2 more rounds of breath there. Good, and then inhaling slowly. Bring your hands coming towards the hips, resting next to the body. Bring the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Lean slightly back, bringing the hands, supporting the weight. The core is slightly engaged and bounce the knees side to side. Good, and then stop the bouncing. Bring the knees together, coming on tabletop. From tabletop, downward facing dog. Bending the knee one at a time. Good, and twisting the hips a little bit to find that extra stretch. As you bend the knee, bring the hip to the side and then to the other. Good, and then we come back towards the center and walk back with the hands on your forward fold, toes active. Again, this is another forward fold. If this one feels a little bit easier, then we can use this one as well for the same stretch, with the knees soft so the thighs are active, the abdomen soft, so we can bend forward even more. Just make sure that there's no tension on the head, on the neck. 1 more round of breath. Good, and then bend the knees. Bring the shoulders back and down, the palms together, the hips towards the back, and very slowly start inhaling, bringing the arms up, looking up, exhaling, lowering the hands towards the heart center, and then towards the sides. Find your gaze, and when you're ready to move, grab your blanket and get ready for savasana. Good. So now it's very important to keep the heat of the body and to completely relax. Bring the gaze up and full awareness to your breathing. Finding that comfortable position. And making this moment as peaceful and relaxed as we can to get most of the benefits of the practice. Relaxing the whole body. Keep the gaze up, the jaw relaxed. Allow the root of your tongue to feel heavy in your mouth. Surrender to that connection to Mother Earth. And again, be grateful about your body and about all the things that you are able to do. Bringing the awareness to the positive. And just acknowledging the things that we need to be working towards. Being gentle, being aware, for being positive and active. Staying there for another 2 minutes in your savasana. I will leave you here today so you can be nice and connected with your breath in that peaceful space. So you can, right after your savasana, to get into your meditation, whether it's laying down or sitting upright, and keep that calmness of the mind by bringing the awareness to the breathing and keeping the gaze up. Even if it's just a few minutes, it will make the whole difference to your day. Have a lovely day and let me know how it felt. See you tomorrow.